clerk call the roll? Chairman?
Councilman Dressel.
Oh, you're doing it?
Present.
Sorry.
Mayor Manning.
Present.
Councilman McCoy.
Present.
Would the clerk please read the minutes from our last meeting?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we dispense with the minutes of the previous meeting.
I second that.
We're accepting them as written. Call the roll.
Mayor Manning.
In favor.
Councilman Dressel.
In favor.
Councilman McCoy.
In favor.
We're going to jump to our presentation tonight, our first presentation, and Citizen of the Month.
Thank you, Mayor. So tonight we present the March 2019 Citizen of the Month, and tonight the award will go to Willard Towne Senior. Willard is a 50-plus year resident of the city of Watervliet. He's a proud Korean War veteran. Willard keeps his property immaculate. If you've ever been by, you would know that. Assists his neighbors, helps others shovel, move their cars. He takes great pride in keeping Ted's Fish Fries parking lot clean as well as the other surrounding properties adjacent to that. Willard makes it a priority to check in on his neighbors when sick and keeps an eye on their property when they are out of town. He's the prototypical great neighbor, and he's the March 2019 Citizen of the Month, Willard Towne Senior.
Perfect for this type of weather. And we've got a certificate commemorating this. And this is the hardest part. Okay. Sometimes our recipients make a speech. No. All right. Family, you guys want some pics? Yeah. Let's rotate around.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Good.
One more, Mike.
Perfect. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, some of the party that came to celebrate with Mr. Towne asked if they had to stick around, and you don't have to.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right? Thanks for coming. That was a great showing. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Okay, with that out of the way, we'll go to reports from officers and committees.
Yeah, so tonight, off of the agenda, we do have a report from one of our committees. The chairwoman of the tree committee is here tonight to do a report. So I'll turn it over to Lois Gundrum for a report from the tree committee.
Night, guys.
Hello, everybody. Paul Farr and I just came from a meeting today that was so wonderful. We were at the DEC daily, it was a full day conference on trees and communities, and so we feel very enthused right now. We had a great meal, we met a lot of people. So we really we asked to say just a few words tonight because the city has been very supportive of the tree committee. It's a wonderful thing that you've done. The tree committee is relatively new, it's only been meeting since November, but we do have a local law that established the tree committee, and we want to thank you so much for doing this because Watervliet needs more trees. It's just trees are so important, and so we hope to work with everyone in the future to bring more trees to our city. So we learned about grant opportunities and everything today. We are going to be doing something for Arbor Day, which is April 26th. So please put that on your calendar. We're going to be at least having a tree walk and planting some trees. And also today we got this poster that won the competition for the 5th graders. This one was someone from, where was she from? Syracuse, maybe? Syracuse. Okay, yeah, somewhere at Mid-State, a 5th grader who won this award, and we'd like to do this for our school kids next year. And then we also managed to get this amazing book, which we're going to put in the library, all about trees. And then we learned about an opportunity for the school to get seedlings to plant wildlife-friendly shrubs and so on. So Geraldine Ferris works very closely with the children, and they do a lot of gardening up there. Paul has two signs that they gave us, because this is our first official year as the Tree City USA. So, and that's also due to the city's support. So thank you so much for all you've done. And we're hoping that we can continue to move forward with this effort and make Watervliet beautiful, and also make it more habitable by having more trees. And for those of you who don't know, Paul's brother, Bill Farr, and Paul Farr and I are the resident members of the tree committee. And then we have two ex officio members. We have Jeremy, who is the city manager, and we have Paul Lavoisier, who is the code enforcement person. So and we meet every other month on Mondays. Sometimes we have extra meetings. It would be the first Monday of the month, 7 o'clock here.
I just wanted to show, this is the signs that were given to us. We were given two signs that'll be up at Jeremy to decide where in city entrance.
Nice.
As for that, and I don't know if you can get extra, so that's what we have to find out. But they're nice enough to give us proper recognition. We were one of 9 new ones, 9 new municipalities in the state that were honored as street members, and we were actually the only ones present there for the presentation.
Of the new ones.
Of the new ones. I'll leave these here.
Thank you.
And just one more thing, for Arbor Day, we also, because of the city's cooperation, we have 6 new trees that will be planted on 16th Street in those islands. These will be memorial trees, and if you would like one and to dedicate it to a loved one, it would be $120 plus whatever the plaque costs, which we're going to be talking about tonight. If you want a plaque, you don't have to have a plaque. So please see us about that if you'd like one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lois, how tall will these trees grow that you're
25.
25 and 15 feet wide. They'll fit within the size of the boulevard. They won't overlap.
Cherry accolade trees.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lois, and the tree committee. Next, we are honored tonight to have a distinguished guest with us. Our county executive, Dan McCoy, is here tonight to give the state of the county report. Special welcome to Dan McCoy.
I'm only going to take about an hour of your time now, just maybe wait, and you let everyone leave. I like how you did that. But, you know, it's an honor to go out and do this, and I'm here with Bruce Haley, our county clerk, and Bruce, thank you for always being a good partner and coming around to these things with me.
My pleasure. My honor.
You know, I'm going to try to be brief. I know everyone's busy and it's a crazy night, and I know you got the people's business to do, but I want to say to the mayor, thank you. This is my 8th State of the County to you. I wish you luck in the future, whatever you plan on doing, but it's been a pleasure working with you, and it's been a great partnership. So thank you for everything you've done. So just to give a cap what's going on. You know, this is the 7th year we stayed under the cap in Albany County. 6 years, a 0% tax increase. This year we actually lowered your taxes by 1.5%. So we did a decrease. It's been challenging though. It's been tough because though we've come out of this recession, it's still hard. I mean, I tell everyone, does your cable bill go down every year? Does your phone bill go down? Does your insurance go down? Does your health care go down? No, everything goes up every year. So we have to make tough decisions as elected officials to really decide what type of services we're going to continue to give and how we're going to pay for them. And then any new ideas we come up with how we're going to do it. Some of the good things though, Albany County's unemployment rate's at 3.8. It's the lowest it's been in history. So that's something that we can take pride in. Also, we've kind of been working with an equity agenda, looking at how we deliver services in the county, how we can better deliver services. And if you have a program that works here in Watervliet better than the ones we're running, we're going to change them out and get behind the programs that work. Times change, and you got to change with the times and work for the people. So that's one of the other things. We hired Camoin Associates to look at economic development. How we have a lot of property in Albany County, the county owns. How we look at property, what can we do to attract more companies here to give better opportunities for people? How can we work together in a way with the 8 IDAs? How we can continue to do things creatively together. So if you get a company that doesn't want to come to Watervliet, we can get them to go to Green Island. If they don't want to go to Green Island, we try to get them in Cohoes. If not Cohoes, Albany. So really kind of just one kind of shop, you know, so there's more continuity. So we've also added on an $80 million addition onto our nursing home. It's fully backed by the federal government and state, so it doesn't come out of taxpayers' money. It's a 250-bed facility that if you have to put your loved one in there, that you'll be able to walk out of that place and say, you know what, not only do they get the best care in the Capital District, it's a home, and it's going to feel like a home. And if you go up there now, it's really changing. The vibe's changing, the cohesiveness of the organization's changing, and you'll really enjoy that experience, and that's what we want. There's over 60,000 seniors over the age of 60 living longer here in Albany County, and it's our obligation to make sure we take care of them. And one of the things that is by having a great nursing home, but also working in our Department of Aging. We have been working with AARP. We're identified as a age-friendly community. That designation is only going to like 100 in this great nation of ours, and there's a lot of strings attached to it. Transportation, housing, different programs for seniors, which we're getting behind and doing. And you know, so there's a lot of things going on in that area. But times are challenging, and I'm not going to stand here and tell you they're not. Everyone likes the property tax cap? Yes? No? You don't? Yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure you're going to get it, because if you do. So our governor's going around the state talking about the property tax cap, which I'm not against, but what makes it hard for us is, like I said, bills don't go down. Everything goes up. Nothing deflates. Everything just goes up. You got to pay your workers more over time. Yeah, everything. Pension systems go up. So it makes it challenging for us. And one of the things today, the state senate just passed the bill. I think it was yesterday morning we found out about today. It was 3228, I believe the bill was. And basically saying that our recording tax, if you refinance your house, we lose it. That means a $1.2 million loss to the county clerk's office, meaning that where do we get the money? You know? So as the state continues to take away from us and push their unfunded mandates down to the counties, it makes it tough. Our Ames funding, if I'm saying that correct, Governor Cuomo's big idea was, okay, I'll put it back in the budget, but the county's going to have to pay that portion now. This is something that was created in 1975 by the state of New York. It's implemented by the state of New York, and now they don't want to pay for it, so they're going to make us pay for it. It's not fair. It's pitting us up against each other as we've been doing shared services and we've been working together. It puts us in a bad situation. And I'm just making you aware of it because things are going to get tough. Governor Cuomo's also talking about cutting Medicaid funding for nursing homes. So our nursing home, when I took over, used to lose 1.6 a month. I said 1 million, so we'll just stick with 1 million. It costs the taxpayers to run that nursing home. We're spending over $20 million a year for a nursing home. We've gotten it. We rate sized it. We turned the ship around, and right now our nursing home costs us $3.7 million. Next year's budget, I was anticipating about 2.5. The year after that, 0 to the taxpayers. Running it like a true business, but protecting our seniors and giving them the best quality care in home for them. If Cuomo's budget passes the way it is, we're going to balloon almost back up to $15 million a year. We're not going to be able to afford it. I don't know if anyone here has, and I hope you don't, have people that are on or that are disabled, that are living at home with wheelchairs when caretakers come into your house to take care of them, to get them ready in the morning, to get them showered, to do the basics for them, and to get them out to work. Under Cuomo's program, he's cutting 75% of that out. It will force them back into nursing homes. It's crazy what's going on, and if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the Senate and Assembly, it's gonna affect us all, because with the federal government shutdown, the longest in our history, 10% has to be cut out of the federal budget. So as they cut federal funds out to us, and the state's trying to cover their gap at $2.9 billion, it's going to come down to the county, and it's going to come down to you, Joe. And it's going to make us have to make tough decisions. And the scary part is, none of you are really going to care how it happened. and you shouldn't. But it's a reality of what we're faced with. So I want to just tell everyone in this room, reach out to your senator, Breslin, reach out to John McDonald, your assembly member, or Phil Stack, and it's all John, isn't it?
We're John.
Completely John, right? Reach out to him. John's been great. I gotta tell you, I talked to him today. He hasn't passed the assembly, and John's working on it. So being a former mayor, he gets it. John really gets it. So does Pat Fahey. But, you know, I was surprised that Senator Breslin passed it yesterday. But the reality is, these are things we have to stay very vigilant about that have an effect on the services that we do. Some of the positive things, I don't know if you know, we've been in a partnership with the Watervliet Dome. I'd like to take it for the county and really get it to where it needs to be and fix it up. We ran AAU basketball, karate there, free of charge to Watervliet residents. Also, we have the Hurricanes in there. It's an all-girl basketball team. Started 2 years ago? 2 years ago it started. It's the third year.
This is the third year, started today or yesterday.
This is the third year. They just had a rally. They started with 9 teams. They're up to 30 teams. 30 teams throughout the county that come here and they play right here in your dome. And it's been a huge success. And most importantly, we have a team actually that comes over from Massachusetts because there's no girls team. And they're coming over here twice a week to play the girls here locally. The sheriff and I came up with a partnership for our parks department. We pay for everything. We pay for the uniforms. We pay for, we take care of everything. All the kids have to do is show up. Just show up. And trying to give kids an opportunity, and I'll say this to parents that have kids, we're trying to build a great foundation for our children. And I'll tell you right now, if your children play sports, 99.9% of our kids aren't going to the NFL, NHL. They're not going to play professional anything, but we can make them good citizens for the future of the county. And that's been part of our education program with the programs that we've been running. And we're going to be doing more. It's just not basketball and karate. It's chess. It's cross country. It's flag football. It's a variety of different programs we run. We also opened up a lake a couple years ago in a partnership with the Sheriff's Department. Craig and I did. And it's about 421 acres. We just put a 141-seat amphitheater in there, brand new basketball courts. Fry Hubbers paid for the playground set. The unions, operating engineers and carpenters built a pavilion. We have a dock for seniors. We have scouts getting Eagle badges down there. But we run a program for youth all summer long, free. Any kid can go there all summer long, have a bunch of variety, learn how to fish, learn how to get reading help, math help. It's just not about recreation, it's about adding all the other things in there, again, to build a great foundation for these children. We have free bus transportation from the city of Albany, and I'll put this out to the three of you. If you have people interested here in Watervliet, we'll get the bus service here to bring them there for the summer too. So it's another opportunity to give our kids an opportunity, one, to get off the streets, two, learn about nature. We teach them how to, read a map, use a compass. We have trails, we have hiking trails. All winter long it's open. We have snowshoeing and cross-country skiing, free. We got the skis, it's all there. You just got to show up. We got a house you can go in and get free hot chocolate and coffee, free of charge. It's probably 20 minutes from here.
Where is it?
It's Lawson's Lake on Route 9.
Route 32, Lost Lake Road, from here I think it's 30 minutes tops.
30 minutes tops. Route 32 going out through the town of Bethlehem out that way. By the city.
About 4 miles before the alcohol reservoir.
And it's a county facility. Everything's neat there. You should come out and enjoy it. We've been working hard with the equity agenda, but we've also been working hard with the shared service, especially here with the town board and the mayor, to really give people an opportunity, stop the duplication of services, and continue to deliver our services that we're delivering, the quality services that you expect, and adding more to it. So I do want to say, I'm going to end there. I could go on. Now unless you want me to keep going on. Anyone?
Yeah, keep going on.
All right, thanks. So I'm going to keep going. So, do you have a question though? Mayor, if it's okay, I'll take questions from anybody.
You can take questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering, do you have some talking points that can be used to write to John McDonald and Neil Breslin? I mean, are there
Absolutely. If you contact my office, my staff's right behind you. I'll give you our stuff, and
Great.
we'll make sure we get you talking points.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And yes, sir.
Hi, thanks for coming. Listening to you say these things, I'm really sure that we're in a local good position. I prepared something to read, but I'm going to just ask you. In the, I'm sorry, the countywide shared services plan, there was the countywide solar energy consortium established.
Yep.
Now, I understand there's going to be certain sites in Albany County that will be able to provide that, right?
Correct.
Solar energy.
Yep.
My point is that the county also has a multi-hazard or multi-hazard mitigation plan pertaining to hazards like heat waves, cold waves, floods, hurricanes, stuff like
Correct.
that. The emergency shelters that are established by the state and county health department.
Phase 2 of our drinking water grant project. That project involved replacing a lot of our old and smaller water mains throughout the city. We replaced about 6,500 feet of water mains in various areas. At Port Scholar, it was on 1st Street, Broadway, 2nd Ave, everybody's favorite avenue, 3rd Avenue. And then we replaced uptown. We did 6th Avenue, 7th Avenue, and 8th Avenue. Like I said, a lot of these mains were probably the oldest mains we had in the city. And some of it was some of the smallest stuff. So we really see this benefit in water quality and flows for firefighting and stuff. We had some low flow areas that are really going to be greatly improved with this. That was about, what, $2.2 million we spent on that phase? Yes. We got a 3rd phase coming up this year. We got new hydrants in that project too. We also did, in 2018, we did a couple of studies that were grant funded. We did a water systems assessment, needs assessment. That study, we had the engineers come in and kind of do an assessment on all of our various parts of our water system, with the main focus kind of being on the filter plant. Our filter plant's just turned 100 years old, and it's at the point where we got to start thinking about doing some upgrades and stuff. And the study is kind of bringing to light some of the problems that we might be facing. And then we had another study we did was, yeah, and then yeah, that's pretty much our water. Oh, we had during the early part of last year, we had a big water break in the Arsenal. The current one working, so I couldn't fill out the pictures, but that kind of was a pretty big deal for us. It was a rather significant water break that fed part of the Arsenal that required quite the task to complete. It actually broke twice, so I know we had some possible low water and dirty water issues last year that was caused by this. So that was that. And then our other department, sewer department. Sewer department, we're responsible for the conveyance system throughout the city. All our sewage goes to the treatment plant in Albany County, the North Plant. We got about 38 miles of storm pipe, sanitary, combined lines. We got about 730 manholes and 560 catch basins. Again, all this is our responsibility to try to maintain, keep up. We had 2 studies done last year that were grant funded. We did a dry river study, which is a river that actually flows underneath the city. It comes from Latham. And it's a big conduit. It's about a 6-foot conduit, concrete conduit. And we had the engineers come in, do a study on that to evaluate the condition. And you know, all in all, it's still in. That too is over 100 years old, and we found that for being 100 years old, it's still in pretty good condition. We found some cross connections with sanitary lines that were dumping into it that we had removed and put into the sanitary system. And then another separate grant we had was a cammering of our sanitary lines, our more critical sanitary lines. We did about 14,000 feet of cammering of our sanitary lines, and that's right now still in the process of getting overview on that from the engineers. But all in all, that's kind of our 2018 year review. Anything else you want?
Very good.
Any questions from the?
You said you had a phase 3. What's phase 3 coming?
You're going to vote on it in about 10 minutes.
I know that.
So phase 3 is, so we have a storage tank that's up behind the Highland Apartments. It feeds a small corner of the city. And we were planning on painting it because it was due to be repainted. We found that it's actually cheaper to bypass the tank and put in a pumping station, which would be down by the high school. And the pumping station is going to feed that corner of the area with water and kind of eliminate the storage tank use, which will help with water quality. And then, you know, just the way the new pumps and stuff are, we can really fine tune it for demand. And so these guys will be voting on that shortly. I mean, the bids went out a couple weeks ago. And so it involves that, and it also involves a little bit of work on the transmission main that comes from Guilderland. We got some concrete work that needs to be done. And what else?
Aerators.
And, oh yeah, and we got an aerator, which is a device that's going to circulate the water in our service reservoir that's in Latham, and then we put one there, and we're putting 4 out in Guilderland. And we're hoping that that's going to improve our water quality, our raw water quality coming into the city, so that'll make it a little bit easier for us to treat. And in Guilderland, they take raw water from us out in Guilderland, so we're hoping it'll improve our water quality for that too.
What about the service on the res itself?
The what?
The service on the reservoir?
You mean the service?
I mean, your copper sulfate.
Yeah, we did a little bit of that last summer.
How effective was that?
That's very effective for algae. You get a hot, warm summer, and you get algae growth out in mostly out in the reservoir in Guilderland, and that causes issues with us when we treat the water in the filter plant. And we've been treating with this substance called copper sulfate. We're hoping that these aerators will help eliminate doing the chemical process and do a more natural process to eliminate the algae.
What about the water chestnuts?
In water chestnuts, we have, we want to add that tonight too, right?
Also tonight, yeah.
So we had a, what was that, a plan?
Study.
A study done through our relicensing of our hydroelectric plant. And we have a large water chestnut growth out in our reservoir that, as that dies every year, it creates oxygen problems for us, usually in the summertime. So we had Gomez and Sullivan, their engineers, and do a water chestnut study to see what the most effective plan could be to remove them. The plan is going to be voted on tonight by the council. Talks about hand harvesting to mechanical harvesting to chemical. They kind of laid out the different options for us, the most cost effective and way of starting to work on eliminating some of them butter chestnut problems.
And with Gilliland itself, how are we working out with Gilliland? For
Good. I mean, you know, like I said, this will be a big year for us, putting these aerators out. Kind of a test year, I guess you would say. And, you know, hopefully Gilliland will see hopefully a large benefit from this along with us. So the 2019 report will hopefully have a little more substance as to how that's going to work. We plan on May or June to get them out. It's more of a summertime. They'll be out all year, but it's more of a summertime process. So I think it's accepted tonight.
Now, the removal of the tank, that'll kind of eliminate that problem that we had a couple of years ago?
Yeah, so we had THM problems, which is when stagnant water sits. It typically happens when you get stagnant water, and chlorine sits in the stagnant water. It creates it's called a THM issue. We had it a couple of years ago because of the tank. We kind of changed the process a little bit, and so far it's been holding pretty good. But this will keep the water moving. This will keep the water constantly in the distribution system. So we're hoping that this will definitely improve that. It should. I mean, you're always going to have a chance for THMs, but this should definitely increase the effectivity.
Is the airboat being used?
We do not have an airport or an airboat right now, so
You don't have one?
no. Part of that plan, the water chestnut plan, kind of talks about different ways of doing it, but we don't currently own an airboat. So
Probably what, 5, 10, how many years?
yeah, been here 12, and I think we were getting rid of it before that. I've never been on it, so.
Just one more question I have is your, I mean, every so often you get a flurry of these complaints about the smell. How do we address that? How do you want?
A lot of times the smell is related to hot water tanks. It's like a musty, rusty kind of smell. A lot of times the water sits in your hot water tank, and especially if you go in on vacation and you come back, your first week or two might be. I've had a couple calls I went on, and you know I asked her, you know, she goes, I got a new hot water tank. I said. She goes, I just came back from vacation. I said, that's probably your problem. I said, your first bet is to flush out your hot water tank. It usually does the trick, especially if you got an older tank. Sometimes you get a chlorine kind of smell in your water. That's just the way the process we got at the filter plant. I have to keep certain levels of chlorine in the water to help kill the bacteria and stuff. Sometimes it gets a little high, so. Some people can smell it, get affected a little more than others, depending on where you are in the system. But it's safe to drink. There's no hazardous issue with it. So I don't know if any other kind of smells they've had or.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. A lot of times it's the hot water tank. So, any questions in the audience?
I have a question. With Del Avenue A.
Okay, yep.
The current grant that we were trying for to separate the storm drain and the sewer line on Avenue A did not get approved. Is there any discussion in with all of the studies that you're doing to talk about a cost in the future to get that rectified?
Yeah, I mean, we got a baseline cost on rectifying it. That's probably one of the biggest projects in the city. It's a large, that's why we're trying to get grant funding on it.
I know, but meanwhile, Frank and I and stuff, you've done what you can do.
Yeah, and we cambered that line in this other grant we did, and the line was in great shape. There's no real structural issues with it. So I think it's a flow issue, but you know, obviously we're aware of it. And, I mean, have you had anything recently? You haven't?
Oh, when you get heavy rains.
Yeah.
But it's not really been raining.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's usually heavy rains when we get the sewage backed up in.
Yeah.
You know, after you put the cap in, though, I have to tell you that I had Mount Rushmore in my kitchen because the pressure backed up and,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to, I mean, I've talked to you before, so.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to know.
We've got to
that-
catch it, we got to catch it while it's doing it, and
Yep.
there's some
Absolutely.
processes that we've been trying to nail down, so.
So when that issue happens, that's usually because there's so much runoff that you guys are dumping in.
It could be,
So you're
yeah.
flushing the-
It could be our line, it could be in the lateral.
No, but I'm saying when the water comes down through, you have a process of dumping the groundwater into the sewer water.
Right,
to
yeah.
Flush it out and allow it to get out quick.
So, yeah, at the end of, a couple blocks down from your street, it's called a CSO, which is Combined Sewer Overflow. And during the process, when we get heavy rains, it's made to relieve a lot of the sewage, which we have permits for, to hopefully relieve some of these issues, but I know we've had issues, so, you know, we're trying to come up with a solution for that.
How long's that been going on?
5, 6 years?
In my area?
Yeah.
My area, it's been horrendous. Frank said he's had problems for the past 10 years, and the person that owned the house prior to me was there 6, and she had issues, so.
But is it, I mean, in 5 or 6 or 7 years, doesn't even seem like, what changed in 7 or 8 years?
I don't know. We've been trying to catch it.
It's been about maybe 5 to 10 years or so that they've been dumping it through that system that way.
No, well, the system's been the same for a long time.
Right, but
There hasn't been,
you guys did get approval to take and dump the groundwater into the,
no, the system's been the same for that, especially in that area, that hasn't changed in probably 70 years.
something in the pipes must have changed because it's only been about 5 or 6 years that every time, well, it's been since what was I reading?
Yeah, well, that was a catastrophic.
It was that, and then every time after that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I had the lines cambered, and, you know, structurally, it's a pretty good sized line, and, you know, there was no cracks, there was no structural, really, defects to it, so, you know. And since, you know, I haven't really, you haven't called in the last year or so.
I want to say thank you for coming down all the time you did. I mean, it was pouring down for him. He's got his head down in the water hole.
Well, yeah, that's the time to catch it, is when
Right.
the issue's going on. When it subsides, I can't
I
really
agree.
determine it, so we're working on it.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave. And one of the things I want to point out, you know, David talked about the staff that he has. He's basically a 4-person staff, so it's him and 3 others. And I think he just, you know, he mentioned the 2 systems, the water and sewer systems that they work on, and how much is involved in it, you know, all the way from the reservoir out in Guilderland to our filter plant to the distribution, then add the sewers into that, and the emergency calls that he gets. For a staff of 4, David really does a tremendous job with the water and sewer department. He's a tireless worker. He's you know, on call, you know, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's the call that gets made whenever there's a water or sewer issue, and they really do a great job for the, you know, the small staff that they have. So just want to make sure that we recognize David and his staff for the amount of work that they do on a really vast and complicated system. So thank you, David. Well, we've been here for 50 minutes, Mayor. I believe that's the end of reports of officers and committees. I just have one final announcement to make. Chris Dawes, myself, and the mayor were able to get together and organize to come up with the best week in this spring for Bulk Week. So this is the official announcement for Bulk Week, and it will be on the website. So we will be having our official annual Bulk Week collection will take place the week of May 6th through the 10th. So May 6th, starting that Monday, again on your regular garbage day, we'll have the bulk week, and at each meeting, I'll be sure to mention it each time and provide you with the information, but the information is on the website and available so that you know what you can put out for those bulk weeks. So again, May 6th through the 10th will be the bulk week in the city of Watervliet. And that is all that I have for this evening.
Okay, old business?
Is there anything for electronics?
Nothing scheduled for electronics yet.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any old?
No business.
All right, new business.
Members of the council, the first two items on tonight's agenda is ordinance number 1997 and ordinance number 1998. Those two ordinances are going to be removed from the agenda for further review and discussion. The next item is resolution number 9595. The council of the city of Watervliet hereby approves, ratifies, and confirms the reappointment of Lois Gundrum to serve as a member of the City of Watervliet Tree Committee to March 19th of 2022.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on the resolution.
I second that.
Any discussion?
It's been about a year since the establishment of the committee. Lois and Paul are up here today. You can see Lois has a great passion for the trees and for the tree committee. And as much as she gave a lot of credit to the city for the work that was done, Lois has done a lot of work in a short amount of time and has been carrying the torch for the tree committee and acts as the chair. So this is a great recommendation and will really help with the tree committee over the next 3 years. So.
Okay. Call the roll.
Mayor Manning,
In favor?
Councilman Patricelli,
In favor?
Councilman McGrowdy.
In favor.
Resolution number 9596, the council of the city of Watervliet hereby accepts the bid from and awards the contract to American Evergreen Incorporated, 3 Agway Drive, Rensselaer, New York 12144, in the amount of $958,800 for the water distribution system improvement. Phase 3 2019, contract number 78D3, DWSRF project number 18231. The lowest responsible bidder in conformance with the specifications.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 9596 as written.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
So again, David did touch on this, as Councilman McGrowdy had asked for. This is the final phase of the DWSRF project through an EFC grant. Again, this replaces the water tank with a new pump station on Wiswell Avenue. The alternates that I am recommending for acceptance are alternate 1 is to recast the blow-off valves on the transmission line in concrete as they've deteriorated over the years. Alternate 2 is to place an aerator at our service reservoir, and again, David gave a great explanation of what that does. And alternates 3 and 4 combined together place 4 solar aeration systems at the raw reservoir in Guilderland. We do have a contract with Guilderland to provide them with raw water. That contract has about 8 years left on it, I believe, at this point. And so making some modifications and investing in the reservoir out in Guilderland will certainly help to continue that contract with Guilderland past the current contract. So based on the bids that we got, we did receive 2 bids. They were slightly higher than what we expected. A couple of different reasons for that. But based on what we received, what is available, and what this pre-treatment work will do for our water system, I recommend to the council that we accept these bids and all alternates and move forward with the project.
Jeremy, what part of this do we have to bet?
So, I mean, at this point, really, this will all fall on the city's dime. The project itself was originally estimated at about $3.8 million, and we received grant funding of $2.27 million. So once we elapse at 2.27, we're kind of coming out on our own for our share of it. It's a 60-40 grant. We're a few $100,000 over what the original estimate was, which was a 2015 estimate. We're doing work in 19, so that's a big part of it as to why it's inflated that much. I did distribute to the council a breakdown of the finances on this so that you can take a look at it and determine if this is it. But I definitely recommend that we do all this very necessary work.
And the rest would come out of our reserve.
So it's through the bonding that we, bond resolution was approved quite a while back. The bond resolution was for, up to $5 million, but this will put us, I believe, based on the information I sent, at about 2.2. We were hoping to keep it at 2, but it put us slightly above. Any bond for water infrastructure work like this is available to go out 40 years, so not a big hit to the taxpayers. It's spread out for a long time. Very effective.
Okay, call the roll.
Mayor Manning,
In favor?
Councilman Patricelli,
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Resolution number 9597, the Council of the City of Watervliet hereby approves and adopts the City of Watervliet Norman School relicensing water chestnut control study, and further approves and adopts the City of Watervliet water chestnut control management plan.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on this resolution.
I second that.
Discussion?
Yeah, so we previously approved the water chestnut study to be completed as part of our water quality study out in the Normanskill Reservoir, which was part of our FERC relicensing of our hydroelectric facility. It's been completed with data and recommendations for treating and removal of the invasive species, which is the water chestnuts. The management plan basically takes the recommendations and breaks it into a 5-year management plan. And that 5-year plan works out to fall right in line with what we currently have budgeted for our maintenance out at the reservoir. So it's about $75,000 a year in maintenance. As David had talked about, it's 3 different types of actions. It's hand pulling, mechanical harvesting, and then chemical treatment of the invasive species that are out there of plants. So this study was completed in conjunction with Gomez and Sullivan and Weston and Sampson. Weston and Sampson has been our water and sewer engineers for quite a while. They were brought in to assist in this. So the study has been distributed to the council, and the management plan based off the study has been distributed to the council. And I recommend that we accept this study and this management plan so that we can begin to move forward with the eradication of this invasive species.
Good. Call the roll.
Mayor Manning,
In favor?
Councilman Patricelli,
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Okay, the next item is resolution number 9598, and I'm going to read from the resolution. There's some typographical errors on the agenda. So the Council of the City of Watervliet hereby authorizes and directs Scott P. O'Reilly, City Clerk and Clerk to the Council, to advertise once in the official newspaper that the City of Watervliet will issue requests for proposals, RFP, for professional planning consulting services for the City of Watervliet Downtown Revitalization Initiative Study, and that proposals must be received in the City Clerk's office of the City of Watervliet, City Hall, 215th Street, Watervliet, New York, 12189, no later than 2 p.m. on April 12th, 2019. Requests for proposals, RFPs, will be on file and publicly exhibited at the office of the City Clerk, City Hall, 215th Street, Watervliet, New York, 12189. The Council of the City of Watervliet reserves the right to waive any informalities in or to reject any and all proposals submitted.
I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution 9598.
I'll second.
Discussion?
This is really exciting for the city. I'm very excited about it. What this is releasing a request for proposals to qualified consultants to basically complete an economic development and community revitalization study. What that study will do for the city is put together a plan for economic development and community revitalization, but it'll also put the plan in place to be able to turn it into the state of New York's Downtown Revitalization Initiative grant money. That's been around for 3 years. Previously for our area, the cities of Hudson, Glens Falls, and Albany just recently this past year were awarded, and it's a $10 million award to help with economic development within the city. So it'll put us in line to be able to apply for that, but at the same time it'll also give us ideas for further economic development and community revitalization in the city, whether or not we receive a DRI award for that. Previously, the council did approve funding for this from the LDC in the amount of $50,000. These proposals will go out to qualified consultants, and once it comes in, we'll be able to score them, and in about a month or so's time, we'll be back to the council with a recommendation as to which consultant to award this to.
Okay, clerk call the roll.
Mayor Manning,
Favor?
Councilman Patricelli,
In favor.
Councilman McGratty.
In favor.
Resolution number 9599. The Council of the City of Watervliet hereby appoints Robert Heffernan, residing at 1353 7th Avenue, Watervliet, New York, 12189, as a member of the City of Watervliet Board of Ethics for the unexpired term to April 30th of 2021.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on this resolution.
I second that.
Discussion?
So we had a resignation from the committee, and Robert was previously approved as the alternate, and so he's the obvious choice to replace this person, so
Move on up.
recommend this to the council.
Okay,
I'm good.
It was the alternate.
call the roll.
Mayor Manning,
In favor.
Councilman Patricelli,
In favor.
Councilman McGrady.
In favor.
All right, we have resolution number 9600. The council of the city of Watervliet hereby authorizes and directs Scott P. O'Reilly, city clerk and clerk to the council, to advertise in the official newspaper of the city of Watervliet that a public hearing will be held in the J. Leo O'Brien Senior Citizen Center, Watervliet, New York, on Thursday, April 4th, 2019 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of hearing those persons who wish to be heard regarding proposed local law number 3 of the year 2019, a local law to amend chapter 108 of the Code of the City of Watervliet.
I'd like to make a motion to accept number 9600 as written.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yes, so we have a, chapter 108 of the Code of the City of Watervliet deals with, amongst other things, dangerous dogs, animals, and licensing identification of dogs. This particular local law is to amend section 108.25D and 108.25F of chapter 108 of our code. Basically, when a dog is seized, it is brought down to the animal shelter of Anans, and they charge a specific fee for the period of time that the dog is there, and they increase their fees to $70. So when a dog owner wants to redeem that dog, they would have to come to the city of Watervliet and pay the city of Watervliet to be able to get their animal from the shelter. So we are increasing our fees to match the fee of the animal shelter.
Very good.
So it went from $67 to $70.
This is just announcing the public hearing.
Correct.
That's the subject. Okay, call the roll.
Mayor Manning,
In favor.
Councilman Patricelli,
In favor.
Councilman McGrady.
In favor.
Members of the council, it appears that that is the end of the items on the agenda.
Okay. Appropriations counting is nothing then, right? Okay. Anything else before we go to public comment period? I'm just going to make a report just for the record. I don't know if this needs to be officially reported, but there was a finding during the process of developing the 19th Street project that placed Price Chopper where it is now. There's some potential empty sites that could be built on the front. And there was a finding in the proceedings that the developer should report back after 5 years if there's been no progress. And there's been no progress on the front lots. They continue to develop that. They had a they got close with a proposal from another auto parts store, but they're not having any luck developing that as retail space, which is what they do. So I'm just reporting that on the record that they did come and report back after 5 years. It was not a condition of the zoning and planning effort that went on, but it was something, a recommendation that they should report back, even though we keep in touch with them on a regular basis.
Here's where we'll make the, use the land.
Yeah, there's nothing, there was a thought or a perception that if they didn't do anything, there were some repercussions. That's not the case. So, any ideas, folks? Funnel them up here. We'll get them to Nigro and Company and see if we can do something on the front of 19th Street there. With that, we'll go ahead and open the public comment period.
Yes, thank you. The council has authorized public comment period. If you wish to address the council, please come up to the podium. Please state your name and your address, and you'll have 2 minutes to address the council. And the council has the option to either respond to your request or get back to you at a later date. Is there anybody who wishes to be heard? Please step forward.
Had a lot of info shared tonight. Does anyone Got another subject? Any NCAA fans here?
No comments.
Okay, John, last call. All right, we'll close the public comment period. Entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting, yes?
We do, I would recommend that we adjourn into executive session to discuss a pending litigation matter.
Okay,
I ask that corporation counsel and the council as a whole join in the executive session.
entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session for a pending litigation matter. Seconded by Councilman Browdy. Clerk call the roll.
Mayor Manning,
In favor?
Councilman Patterson,
In favor.
Councilman McGrath.
In favor.
We're adjourning to executive session, which we can hear, so if you want to grab some on your way out, 5 minutes, otherwise we need to clear the room.
So I wasn't prepared for this.